Hey party people, I'm Kitty. Welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning viewer, you get a gold star today. Congratulations. So today's video, I think, is going to be the last video of Pride Month, so I thought I would share my coming out story. But before we get started, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe, as it really supports my channel and you can see more of me. I thought I would do a little non-binary flag inspired look today, as I am non-binary, and these earrings are from a small artist, so I will link those below as well. My coming out story, I feel like, starts a little late compared to a lot of people. I felt like a late bloomer with mine for sure. I was in 10th grade when I started to realize that I liked girls. Well, really just one girl in particular I had a crush on, and I remember talking to my friend about it. He was the only openly gay kid at my school that I know of, at the time at least. So I was talking to him and I told him how I felt about this girl, and he was like, hey, I think you're bisexual. She was the only girl I had a crush on for a long time, but then the next year I got another crush on a girl, and I think that's when I ended up telling my best friend at the time that I had a crush on this other girl. But I don't think I necessarily said I was bisexual. I don't remember. I tried to come out just like keeping it cool, didn't want to make a big deal about it, and would just say things like, in one of my classes one day, I said I was gonna start dating women, and the people at my table all laughed, and I was like, I'm serious. I remember being at a track meet and like talking about this girl from the other team. I was like, wow, she's so cute. And again, everyone just kind of laughed, and I was like, I'm serious. I just didn't want to just come out and be like, hello, I'm bisexual. I was pretty honest about it, just not like being direct, I guess, but I wasn't trying to hide it either, if that makes sense. I didn't really get crushes on girls very often in high school, but I did have a lot of celebrity crushes on women, but at the time I didn't necessarily realize what they were. I was just kind of like obsessed with them, you know, just obsessed with them, and didn't know why. But looking back, it's very clear to me that I did have a crush on them, like Demi and Amanda Seyfried. Those two, I got a big old lesbian crush on you. I knew when I went to college I wanted to live my life open and out. That summer before I left, I told all of my best friends. I told each of them one-on-one. I'd say overall it went pretty well. I was really nervous because I was going to room with one of my best friends from high school. I was gonna room with her in the dorms, and I remember there was this little questionnaire that we filled out about roommates, and one of them was, do you feel comfortable living with someone who's LGBT? And she had said no. So I was really scared to come out to her, but she didn't care, and everything was fine there. All of my friends were really supportive until I actually started dating a girl, and then things got weird, but that's a whole different story. I didn't come out to my family though until that fall. So once I was already in college and I didn't live with them, that's when I decided to come out. But one day I got a really long message from my brother, and it was very like heartfelt and emotional. And it was a good paragraph at least. And at the very bottom they said, I'm bisexual. And I just replied something along the lines of, oh my God, me too. Which was so funny, and I love that we have that in common. Even though now I don't really identify with bisexual, I just say queer because my sexuality is fluid and changes a lot, so I don't really like any particular labels. Once we came out to each other, we decided next time we were home together, we were gonna come out to our family together, and we did. They said they didn't care, but they did. They sure did, and a lot of them don't think that gay people deserve the same rights as straight people, so yeah. Got some lovely little homophobes in my family, which is why we do not talk. So from there, I was open and out as bisexual, but I did not know anything really about the asexuality spectrum. I joined the Pride group that was on campus, and it was really knowledgeable. I learned a lot there, and I really enjoyed being in it. And there is when I learned about the ace spectrum, and then I kind of realized that I'm demisexual, And then it finally made sense why it took me so long to realize I was bisexual or that I liked women. Really had to do with the fact that I don't really experience sexual attraction unless I have deep feelings for someone. I would never, I remember people using words like sexy or hot, and I always thought those words honestly would make me uncomfortable when I was younger, and I didn't feel like anyone was hot or sexy. Like, no one was hot or sexy to me. I would just get crushes on people based on their personality, and really that's honestly all there was to it. So, and I could find people like cute, but without the sexual attraction, it was really hard for me to realize the difference between my platonic feelings and my romantic feelings for someone. So it took a long time for me to realize that I was bisexual because I'm also demisexual. Now, being demisexual, I did not come out for that at all. I don't really bring it up unless I'm talking to other people who are on the A spectrum, or I am talking to like really close friends, but even then they usually say things like, that's just normal. And I'm like, no, you don't understand what I'm saying if you think it's normal, because it's not. Because people think it's like a choice. Like, you choose not to have sex with someone until you have a romantic connection with them. And it's not that. It's that I literally don't find anyone sexually attractive. Like, there is no sexual connection for me. Like, if I meet someone, like, I would rather vomit than have a one-night stand, you know what I mean? Okay, no, I wouldn't say that's normal. So I don't really talk about it with people because honestly, no one gets it and they're not really cool about it, whether they're in the LGBT plus community or they're straight or cishet, I mean. But now, being on gay Twitter, I do have a lot of friends who are on the A spectrum and people who respect the A spectrum, so that is really nice. And now going on to my last label. So this has to do with my gender. I identify as non-binary because sometimes I kind of feel like a woman and sometimes I don't really feel like anything, but I definitely don't feel like a man. And this is very fluid for me and changes a lot. So really, I'm cool with saying genderqueer, gender fluid, non-binary, all of those fit me in my opinion, and I like those labels. So in all, I am a queer, demisexual, NB, and having that many labels already makes me feel like a fraud sometimes. I have imposter syndrome, but I'm not. Those are all real and valid, and it's normal to have them all mixed together. So it took me a long time to realize that I was non-binary. I've always really felt connected with my feminine side and my masculine side. I wasn't raised to like have to be feminine. I was allowed to do whatever I want as far as like boy things and girl things, and I could wear what I want. My family didn't really care about that, which was really great. It's one of the only great things that they've done. So I didn't have like femininity pushed onto me at all, really. So I was comfortable with both sides. And I remember in one elementary school, I would just go back and forth between playing with the girls one day and the boys the next day. And it was just constantly like that. I've always liked to dress in both women's clothes and men's clothes. I was very much like a tomboy when I was little, is how I felt. And that's how my family described me as well. I didn't know anything about being non-binary, gender fluid, or like agender. I didn't know any of that growing up. I really learned about most of those things when I was in that Pride Club that I mentioned, but actually when it comes to being non-binary or gender fluid, those didn't really come along until more recently. I probably didn't know what non-binary was just a few years ago. I think I would have come out a lot sooner if I had known. My gender expression has constantly changed back and forth between like feminine and just gender neutral, agender, androgynous. I really identified with androgynous for a long time, and I think that's when I would have came out as non-binary if I had known beforehand what it was. I didn't, so I just kept going along or living my life as a woman and thinking that's what I was, even though I didn't necessarily identify with one. It was also really hard for me to realize that I was non-binary because of how much I just love and respect women, and I just think they're amazing. So it's like I want to be one because they're amazing, even though that's not really how I feel about myself. I don't know, it was a little complicated. And I didn't come out as non-binary until a few months ago actually, and I am 25. So we realize these things. Some people realize them really early, some people realize them late, and that's okay. Well, I knew about myself when I was like 15. I came out that I liked women when I was 18, realized I was demisexual when I was probably 19 or 20, and then came out as non-binary when I turned 25. Not when I turned 25, but while I'm 25. I'd say I've always been a little bit different. I've always expressed myself in a little bit of a unique way. I didn't really care for pop culture growing up, and I don't really now. It kind of depends. I didn't really struggle with accepting myself because I genuinely I'm just an open-minded person, and I don't really care about how other people perceive me to a certain extent. I mean, I get my feelings hurt easily, but that's more like BPD, you know? But I don't really care like if people think my style is weird, because a lot of people think my style is weird, and I don't care anymore. I'd say I'm pretty fortunate that I have been able to accept myself so easily. I personally have never seen anything wrong with the LGBT community. I've never had internal homophobia or internalized transphobia, or, you know, just outward homophobia or transphobia either. I've never dealt with that, so I would say I'm pretty fortunate in that. However, I haven't had the most supportive family. I do, however, have a lot of friends online, especially on gay Twitter, where we all just kind of come together and we all know each other. I really love gay Twitter and everyone on there, and if you are from gay Twitter or the Discord group, I love you guys. I think it's really important to find your community, and if you are struggling with that, you know, maybe check out gay Twitter. I did try to find a community here in person, but I just don't really fit in with this group, and it's not necessarily that I don't fit in with them here. Yeah, we have different outlooks on life, and I don't really agree with a lot of the things they do here, particularly relating to the pandemic. So my story was a little shorter than I thought it would be, I guess. So that was my coming out story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope if you are in the closet, just know that you are not alone. You have a huge community just waiting for you. We are all waiting for you, and you're in my YouTube community. So whether you come out or you don't, we all love you anyway, and you are supported and welcomed here, and I hope you always know that. I think this is my last video of Pride Month, so I hope you guys had a great Pride Month. I hope it was fun. Just know that if you don't have a supportive family, that's okay. A lot of people don't. You're not alone. We're all here for you, and everyone here on my channel, we all love each other, right? I hope, okay? I mean, except for my Vanessa fans who are hate sub to me. Everyone else, it's all love. I would love to share your coming out stories. If you guys want to send them to me, I would be happy to do that. The easiest place to get my attention is Twitter, because that's really the only social media I'm active on. And all of my social medias are linked below in the description box, as well as resources for things that are important to me and the community. That's all I got for today. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.